All right, got another group v group match. This time between Ujay and Neil. YouTube Pokey Up plays. I think I said that right, but I probably butchered it. Yeah, the sun's like in my face. But yeah, it's another group v group match. Basically, I just kind of give like an overall kind of battle analysis and hopefully give some feedback to help out viewers who are trying to get into competitive or already experienced. For anything, I mean, drop a like, subscribe in the comments, let me know who you think is going to win, and also join the 2 Facebook groups in the links below. Basically, I mean, 2 great groups, competitive content, just like regular Mons content that you'll really enjoy. So I mean, definitely join the 2 below, and yeah, let's go ahead and start. So Ujay brought Weavile, Scarm, Chomp, Slowking, Nidoking, and Coco, and Neil brought out the Buzzwole, Heatran, Rillaboom, Suicune, Zapdos, and Magearna. Alright, so Ujay leads, that's always crooked. Ujay leads with Coco, and Neil leads with Suicune. I mean, goes for Protect to kind of scout, clicks Thunderbolt, so he really doesn't have an electric resist, or at least a solid one. Rillaboom is one, but okay, oh, he's actually mixed, so he clicks U-turn. Nice prediction. So he goes into Garchomp here, and I mean, free rocks, because Rillaboom doesn't really want to touch Garchomp, or he can just go for Toxic. Either way, I mean, Garchomp really is kind of have, okay, so it's Leech Seed. It's this Leech Seed Rillaboom again. Yeah, this thing's like bulky. So, I mean, honestly, he goes back into Scarm here. Goes for knockoff, gets rid of the leftovers on the Scarm, and Scarm can pretty much just, it can go for spikes. I think this thing, yeah, it's carrying spikes. So it gets up spikes against the Tran, and the switch in honestly would have to be like Slowking. Yep. Just for the bulk and regenerator. So it's an easy switch in. So it goes for Toxic here, and probably can just click Scald or maybe go for Teleport. So he goes into Rillaboom, takes the Stealth Rocks and the spikes damage. Slowking goes for Teleport, which brings out the Tapu Koko to change the terrain. So again, he can go for, he can probably just click U-turn, yep, and go back into maybe Garchomp here, because he's already got rocks up. And okay, he goes for Leech Seed again. I forgot this Rillaboom set is so weird. So goes out into the Scarm and clicks knockoff again, which doesn't really do much at all. And Rillaboom goes for, puts up a sub, goes for Roost, so it's what, sub, Leech Seed, knockoff. Wonder what the 4th move is. Maybe Grassy Glide, but he goes for a Whirlwind on the Rillaboom, lures out the Buzzwole. And Scarm at this point can either, he can honestly go for spikes again or click Whirlwind, or he switches out, goes to Coco, and Coco can take pretty much any attack that Buzzwole does. It does 25%, which is a lot more than I expected. Goes into Slowking here. Rillaboom comes back out on the double, which is a good play for Neil. He switches the terrain up, and he can again go Garchomp, but he has to worry that the Rillaboom's going to put up a sub. So he goes Scarm instead, which can Whirlwind it away. Goes for Leech Seed again. Goes into a Zapdos here, and he also doubles back into Coco, so good trade-off. And Thunderbolt only did 30%, 36%. It's not specs, so that's why I did such a little amount. I believe it's heavy-duty boots. So he clicks U-turn. I mean, he can't get paired. Goes into Chomp here, and I mean, he's going to defog, but at the same time, Chomp can honestly click Toxic here. Yep. And Zapdos goes for Toxic. And I mean, right now, free rocks. That could have been dangerous if the Suicune got Toxic, but I mean, free rocks here. And he can go into his, yeah, Coco. That's what I was thinking. Coco, and then just click Thunderbolt. But he goes back into Zapdos. He's kind of got to be wary of Coco losing too much health. He goes for Roost there. I mean, it'll definitely be like a 3-hit KO, and he can't really afford to just keep spamming on it because he still doesn't want to take any damage himself. But I mean, racking up the toxic damage is definitely key here. Goes for Thunderbolt again. Zapdos has to Roost, and Toxic is going to take off a good chunk. And I mean, Zapdos has to come out. It's an easy way. I mean, easy Dazzling Gleam here. Yep. And that Rillaboom only took 26%. I gotta figure out. I gotta ask Neil what that spread is. So he actually stays in for the Grassy Glide and clicks U-turn here. Get some more damage off. Goes into Nidoking. And because his team's so slow, Nidoking actually, I don't think he can break through Suicune too well. Yeah. 16% still pretty solid for Flamethrower, but he can't risk the Scald. So he goes in Slowking here. Click Scald. And Slowking can either teleport or click Future Sight. Either way, I mean, both are great options. He goes for Sub, okay. So he teleports out. Goes into Coco here. And now the worry is that Suicune can basically just kill Coco. With a, okay, Roost, nice. So good play on Ujay's part. Really good play. So he breaks the Sub with Thunderbolt. Suicune goes for Roar, okay. Lures out the Slowking, which I mean isn't a problem because he can just click teleport here. Actually goes for Future Sight, okay. That's actually really good because it'll break the Sub most likely. Goes for Roar. And brings out the Nidoking here. Goes into a Slowking again. And judging from the set, I mean, it's what? Yeah, it's Protect, Scald, Sub, Roar. So he can't really do anything to Slowking, and Slowking can pretty much just keep clicking Future Sight to really lure things in and just force switches. So he lures in the Heatran here, and Slowking can click Scald against Heatran. He gets up Rocks here, but okay, never mind, he teleports. Teleports, goes in Nidoking here, and let's see, Nidoking, let's see, there's your Earth Power. Oh, and he got the crit. Yeah, that crit definitely mattered a lot, and Future Sight kills Suicune. But it might not have mattered too much because he still would have taken, the Future Sight damage, so it might not have. I'd have to run the calcs, but it's really close. So it goes into Buzzwole here, and I mean, free rocks for Garchomp really, or a Toxic on the Buzzwole, whichever one he wants. He misses the Toxic, which really sucks. Ice Punch kills the Garchomp, but he ends up getting off a lot of damage, so maybe rocks might have been the safer play, just because the rocks would definitely be there, and it will force defogs and stuff like that. So Nidoking comes out, goes for Flamethrower, just knocks out the Buzzwole, because his team's so slow, he doesn't really have a safe switch in. Like, yeah, Heatran could have came in, got the Flash Fire boost, but then it dies to an Earth Power. Magearna survived with 1%. He goes for Trick, and okay, so now Nido's choice specs. So, oh yeah, you can switch after that. So he goes Ice Beam there, and I mean, it basically forces out the Heatran, and he can go right into a Slowking, and he doubles into Rillaboom, which is really good play. So honestly, Slowking should probably go for a Future Sight here, just because you know he's probably going to go for a Sub. Or go Skarmory, because I mean at the same time Skarmory can just get up spikes, as well as being able to whirlwind it out, and the spike damage will rack up on the Rillaboom and the Heatran, as long as he gets up enough. And yeah, the Grassy Glide's not doing anything, so free Roost here. Goes into Heatran, and I mean, like I said, free spikes. It'll basically force out the Slowking, but again, he can just start clicking Scald. He gets a Magma Storm off, which, I mean, does a good amount of damage in combination with Toxic. And let's see. I figured he might have went for taunt, but I'm guessing he's not carrying it. So he teleports out, goes back into Nidoking here. And again, I mean, I guess he was predicting that he would go for Ice Beam on the expecting the Zapdos. So that's why he stayed in with Heatran. But it cost him the Heatran, which really helps him out with this game a bit. So he goes Skarmory here, and I mean, it can be free spikes again. But he doubles into a Slowking, so Slowking really doesn't want to take a Thunderbolt, but at the same time, like, Zapdos really doesn't really need a defog here because it's just one layer of spikes. So he teleports out, goes into Nidoking here, and I mean, he just starts clicking off Ice Beam, really, at this point. So I'm pretty sure Ice Beam kills at this range. Well, it doesn't, but the Toxic should. I'm not sure why he went for Discharge. I think he might have just was like, yeah, it's over. But I mean, yeah, because Rillaboom can't do anything back. Yeah, it's an annoying set, but Skarm still handles it pretty well. And then like Ice Beam just kills right here. But definitely got to figure out the spread for that King. And so, game 2. So it's 1-0 in favor of Christmas for Central. So 1-0, and Ujay brought out the Ninetales Alola, Lando, Volk, Suicune, Bisharp, and Dragapult. And Neil brought Buzzwole, Hydreigon, Heatran, Pelipper, Barraskewda, and Rillaboom. I just saw this thing and I forgot his name. Alright, so let's see. Leads Barraskewda, which is kind of a weird lead, and goes Lando T. He goes Pelipper here. I'm not really too sure if that was the best lead and switch, because he could have just led Pelipper for instant rain. So he goes for Explosion, breaks up the Pelipper down to 11%, which is really good here. So he goes Ninetales Alola, which can really... Not sure why he stayed in when he had Heatran in the back. Yeah, I think Heatran in the back would have been a better switch in. I'm not sure what Ninetales could run that will possibly really mess up Heatran too much. But yeah, free rocks for Heatran. He goes for Encore, so he's locked in the rocks, and basically he's forced to switch out. And so now Ujay can so he goes for Moonblast. I mean, I think he's clicking Moonblast kind of to predict him to switch out and catch something switching in. But at the same time, like... Okay, so it goes Rillaboom, and Ujay has no reason to not have clicked Moonblast here. Rillaboom takes, what, 29%? That's not too bad. Goes back into Tran. Goes for a Freeze Dry here, which does 4%. That bar barely moved. And goes into a Suicune, and he can just kind of fire off some Scalds and hope for a burn. The Barraskewda is not really useless because it still does outspeed, and he has Volk on the team, as well as other things that don't really want to deal with like a wall breaker like that. So it goes Hydreigon here. Goes for a sub. I think this is sub Calm Mind Suicune. Let's see if Hydreigon can... Okay, he switches out. Goes into Ninetales here. U-turn does nothing. And I mean, he has to go back into Heatran here. And let's see, was Heatran... Okay, Heatran hasn't revealed Toxic yet or not, so it can potentially, if he goes into Suicune, catch the Suicune with a Toxic, but instead he goes for a Aurora Veil. So yeah, it's good that he stayed in, because if he went Suicune right away and caught a Toxic, that would really mess up the overall plan for what he could do. So it goes into Rillaboom here. Ninetales clicks Encore. Not sure if... Yeah, Rillaboom really doesn't want to stay in here. he might have to go back into Heatran, but he switches out, goes into Bisharp here. He goes Leech Seed. Okay. And Bisharp can, I don't know if it'll do enough damage to click knock off, but yeah, he goes into Dragapult here. And he went Buzzwole, so let's see. It hasn't revealed any attacks. I'm not really sure what this thing's running. I think it's a mixed Dragapult. Goes for Draco Meteor. I mean, Buzzwole's dead now. Heatran might have been the better switch in because you don't really see Surf Dragapults much. And plus, I mean, Spadef Heatran I think is like maybe a 3-hit KO. So Ninetales comes out, already poisoned, don't matter. Let's see. Logic? He could. He goes into Barraskewda here. And he clicks Encore. Barraskewda is probably just going to go for, I mean, either Aqua Jet or, I mean, it outspeeds, so probably Liquidation. A flip turn, okay. So that actually, I mean, that helps too. Probably going to Rillaboom here. And it'll probably go for, I mean, easy seeds here. But Suicune could just click a sub. Just to kind of scout or protect. Okay, so the Rillaboom went for a sub, okay. But I also believe that the Dragapult, I mean, the Dragapult's most likely Infiltrator, so I mean, Draco Meteor onto a Rillaboom would really be good. So, I mean, he's sacking the Ninetales here. Gets for Light Clay, so you know... Well, our Aurora Veil's already been gone, so... Rillaboom's there, Dragapult comes out, and it's a free Draco Meteor. But now he goes Heatran. And Heatran, I mean, like I said, he takes it well, 26%, so scares that out, and it forces potentially the Suicune. Oh, he goes to Bisharp, and Bisharp can't be poisoned. Yep, so Toxic meant nothing, and it was a safe play. And Bisharp can kind of, at this point, just click knockoff. And I did 52%. He goes for Magma Storm. I mean, did Bisharp, but it doesn't really matter because now that Heatran is really weakened. Goes into Suicune here. And let's see, Rillaboom's at 67%. So he goes Hydreigon. Goes for a Scald here. Goes for Protect. I think the Hydreigon's probably going to... Okay, so it's not defogging. Okay. He was clicking U-turn, so... I mean, Suicune can just click Scald, hope for a burn. So he goes Dark Pulse. Did a solid 23%. So it won't break the sub, so he can potentially put up a substitute here. Yep. And go for a Calm Mind. Yeah, and U-turn doesn't break either, so he can Calm Mind here. He goes into Rillaboom, but at the same time, again, Rillaboom does not want to risk a burn. If Rillaboom gets burned, that's pretty much like GG. So he goes for Grassy Glide. Click Scald. No burn, so very fortunate for him that he didn't get burned. What's Heatran at? Heatran's at 13%, so it can only switch in once on rocks. So he goes for Leech Seed. Okay, so we know it's full set. Alright. Goes into Volk here. Goes for a Grassy Glide, does nothing, and now he gets the burn. So now being burned really hurts the Rillaboom. So Volk comes out, Quiver Dances. Goes for a knockoff that doesn't really do much at all. And I think Volk might win here. I'm not too sure. Goes into Heatran, and again, Heatran can only take one hit. So it doesn't matter because of Flash Fire, because Heatran would die to like the Psychic, yeah. So we know Hydreigon's definitely probably coming out, or Barraskewda. So it goes Barraskewda for, I mean, Aqua Jet or something else. He lives and gets the burn on Barraskewda. So easy psychic kill. I think Hydreigon would have been a better switch in because it immediately will force it out, potentially. Yeah, 83%. Yeah, nah, we wouldn't really be able to do anything back. That's the thing. So he goes for Flamethrower, that kills. And Hydreigon comes out. And Volt just roosts up, and he can pretty much just set up on Hydreigon to kill it. And it'll take like a lot of turns. Goes for Quiver here. And like I said, he's just setting up on it to just make the kill a lot easier. Because I mean, either way, I mean he wins either way. But Neil forfeit, and so that's 2-0. 2 points for Central and 0 points for Squad. So I mean, definitely let me know what you thought in the comments. And as usual, I mean, stay tuned for more competitive content. And that's it.